Hi again. Today I gave the wiring a bit of a rest and decided to deal with the people in my house to make some little people. I've already got some people in the house. I've got Lily, who's in the kitchen getting up to mischief. Nobody's around, getting into the chocolate. And upstairs I've got the gentleman steaming away in the steam cabinet, and I've decided his name's Edward and he's going to be the master of the house. And Edward married a younger woman, so I had to make a younger woman. And then I decided to have a male caller who may or may not be having an affair with Amelia. That's Amelia. They'll look a lot different when they're painted up. And the gentleman caller is Sam. And he's quite a dashing young man. So one of the good things about using fresh coloured Sculpey is that you don't have to do a lot of painting on the skin. You can just paint in the details. And that's quite good. And then I made two little hands. This is Amelia's hands. And I make those by rolling 5 little sausages, very narrow sausages, and fusing them together and putting a back and a front on them. And they come out quite realistic. Put a bracelet on there so I remember which hand's which. And the bodies, you can't have heads without bodies. And so with the bodies, I use chenille. And I make these little skeletons, a female and a male. But I don't worry about bulking them up because when I'm making the clothes, I make the clothes look like they've got bodies in them. I'm not undressing and dressing my dolls. You know, once they're in their clothes, they're in their clothes for good as long as I'm concerned. And so it doesn't matter what they like underneath, as long as the outside looks good. So they're all ready for their heads. That's Amelia and that's Sam. But what started it all off was that I needed to have a jolly old Edwardian fisherman for an article that's going in my next magazine. And so I made this fellow, but I haven't finished him. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I usually make these round knobs with a neck, with a hole in them, so I can hold them when I bake them, so I can do the next layer without it all distorting. But with him, I started on the wrong side, and you can see I've given him a lot of face and not enough back of his head. But all was not lost, because I pressed his face into a piece of Fimo, made a mould, and tomorrow I'll press another piece of Sculpey into that mould, and I'll make him properly and give him a better shaped head. So I shall give you a heads up on that tomorrow.